Grilled chicken breast.
Oh, there you are.
Okay. I'll do what I think you'll like.
Hello.
Have a budget. I'm gonna try and keep it under 15. It's gonna be 40-minute delivery.
I'm glad you made it. I was just telling Eve, it looked like she joined my meetings and I couldn't find her. How are you feeling?
Good. A little sore, but
That's to be expected.
yeah.
Do you have lots of physical therapy scheduled?
4 weeks of it. 3 days. 3 days a week.
Oh wow, that's a lot. I can't remember. I was telling Eve my husband had his meniscus fixed and some bone spurs shaved down last year. No, 2 years ago. I can't remember what his how many days he went to physical therapy. He got better faster though, so that was good.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully this one goes a lot better than the other one.
Oh, that's right. She said this is your second time around.
Yeah. The last one I ended up being off work for 4 months. So.
Oh my God. Why?
The head swelling, it wouldn't go away.
Oh,
and
geez.
It's still not right. So.
I'm sorry to hear that. Hi, Lori. Hi, Jackie.
No.
Hey. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. Lori, how are the boys doing? Did classes start yet? Can I unmute you?
There we go. There we go. Yeah, they went back. Justin went back January 2nd. And then Jacob went back the 4th.
Did classes start?
The 6th.
Are they going like in person now?
Yeah, so they're doing both.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Especially labs, you know.
I was going to ask, hopefully the labs are in person.
Yeah.
My brother's going back for a surgical tech thing, and they're making him do all his labs virtually, and he said it's a disaster.
Yeah, they're pretty strict. They can only take their masks off in their dorm rooms. And that's it.
Yep. Sounds about right.
They're pretty on them.
Well, everybody wants to stay open.
Yeah, right.
Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for joining.
I have Jeff here too. You want to sit?
Oh, hey.
You want to sit?
Hello.
Hey, I don't know. Like, let's get closer.
I was talking to Jess earlier about our shirts, and I told Sarah we're going to go ahead and order our volunteer shirts through 4D, and then we'll order our team shirts through them as well.
I haven't had a chance to talk to him to see how business is going.
I mean, either way, I know Josh mentioned it, and I figured we probably shouldn't, you know, ask for them for free again, especially this year. It's not quite 6:30 yet, so I'm going to wait and see if anybody else gets on. I don't have a whole lot to go over, and I am going to record it. I did get a couple emails that some people aren't able to make it at this time, but I was hoping it would be late enough most people would be off work. And early enough, nobody'd be in bed yet.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Haven't been able to launch it on my phone.
Hi, Courtney.
Hello.
Hi, Trisha.
Hi there.
There you are. I can see everybody now. This is so fun and strange.
It's actually becoming the norm nowadays for me. It's gonna be strange when I'm back into a meeting room with a bunch of people again.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really spoiled and lucky to be here with the kids every day. So the Zoom still feels strange. Like I log in every day for people that are being quarantined or homesick,
Yeah.
but it's so nice to have a classroom full of people.
Mhm.
Human contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. A lot to be said about it.
I agree. Okay, I don't want to take up everybody's night, so I'm going to share a PowerPoint and go through some information. And when we're done, I'll email out the recording and the PowerPoint because I do have some links in there. Oh, good. Here's Stephanie. I wonder if Bruce would be with her. I don't know if everybody can see the chat, but Trisha's having trouble with her speakers, so I'm going to wait a minute until she gets her headphones. And we do still have some people coming in. The kids are being so quiet. This is really weird now. I think they all put their own headphones in. Are you with us, Trisha?
I can hear
Okay.
you all so much better. I just
Oh,
assumed
good.
you were having an underwater like electronica concert. No. So note to self,
Yeah.
get some external speakers.
The kids were hoping it would be a water game this year because, you know, why not? All right, so I'll go ahead and share my screen and go through some things I have, and then I'll take, of course, any questions anybody has about the season and what we're planning. I don't know if I'll have answers for everything, but I'll do what I can. We're making up a lot of it as we go this year. Let's see. Nope, that's not right. Okay. So that's not what I want to happen. Sorry. used to Teams. It's not the same as Zoom. I'm sorry. Okay, let me try this again. Okay. Can you see my screen now? Okay. So this is our 2021 parent meeting. The first thing I wanted to say is thank you for sending your kids to robots and letting them be in an extracurricular this year. I know this year is crazy and strange and scary. So I appreciate that you're letting the kids do this and giving them the opportunity to be part of something that's going to help them build their skills and build their knowledge and also just build them as people. So thank you for trusting me. Up first, I'll share some of our schedules and deadlines that we're working with. So right now we're planning to meet Monday through Thursday, 3 to 8 until February 25th. So that'll be 7 days a week, or 7 weeks, 4 days a week, 5 hours a day, the total of 140 hours, which is really comparable to what we did last year. But Sarah James has agreed to help mentor the FRC team this year. So she and I are splitting it up. She's going to be here Monday and Wednesday. I'm going to be here Tuesday, Thursday. And we're not asking anybody to be here on Saturdays. And I think that's going to be really helpful to let the kids have their 2 days of weekend back. Somebody else is trying to get in. I need to figure out how to. There we go. Okay. So let me get back into this. So we're still planning about 140 hours, which is really close to what we've been doing. Last year, I think, was about 128 hours. So we're actually a little bit over on time that we're giving the kids to spend with the robot and prepare. But I think it's going to be really good for them to have their weekends back to rest and recharge. Also, I've said it to the kids a lot of times, and I know our veterans are very aware that they do not have to be here every day or for every meeting. They can come for parts of every day or the whole time, certain days, whatever works best for them. So the game this year, if your kids haven't told you yet, is called Infinite Recharge at Home. There's a judged component deadline of March 3rd or March 4th at 3 p.m. That's a Thursday. We have to submit pictures, videos, and a flyer showcasing our robots. So we have to be finished and have everything ready to submit before March 4th at 3 p.m. so that we are going to be eligible for competition. After this March 4th date, and really after February 25th, I'd like to be done by then. And right now we're working at a really good pace. The kids already have solid designs. They're making great progress on the CAD. I'm going to post a little video to social media later this evening when I get service of Nick Wong has a new team of rookie members that he's working on teaching them how to wire and program a second bot. So we've got a drivetrain already wired up, and Nick taught one of the new kids how to program it. So he didn't touch it at all. The Jack Knock did. So he got it all wired up and programmed and driving. So we have a robot that they can drive. And with the at-home competitions, we can have creative drive teams. We can have different drive teams for different competitions. So I'm really excited that we have a robot that's already built, already wired, and already driving. And it was built built and programmed by one of our rookie members. So we're really excited about that. So to be eligible for any of the competitions, we have to have everything done and ready and submitted by March 4th at 3 p.m. Then the competitions actually open. The competitions open, and our submissions for each competition, like I said, there are 5, are due April 8th at 3 p.m. So I'm thinking that between February 25th and March 4th, if we haven't gotten everything ready, we'll meet and get it done. But I'd like to give the kids a break and then come back starting in March and meet Wednesdays, Thursdays from 3 to 5 for that month between March and April, where these will be the really fun meetings where they can practice these competitions and we can work on getting our best times and our most accuracy and our most goals. So we can run these competitions over and over again and record ourselves and then decide which one we're going to submit for, to be scored. There's a lot more information about each of those competitions and all these different deadlines. I created a little bit.ly for that, FRC skills. So you can click on this when I send it out, or you could, type it in and see more information there if you want to get down into the nitty-gritty of all the competitions. Any questions so far? Anything I'm not hitting on? Okay. I also wanted to share where we are financially. Again, with this being a strange year, we're not traveling. We don't have to pay registration fees for various tournaments. So right now, our current balance is over $12,000. And the kids and we've been talking about what we want to do with that. So we do have some plans, and a big part of that plan is saving for next year. So far this year, even with COVID, we've been able to raise over $10,000. We've had over $5,000 in sponsorships and over $5,000 in grants. Now the sponsorships are from businesses that the kids have written letters to, and that is incredible. I got a couple handwritten thank you letters from those businesses expressing how nice the letters were from the kids and how well done they were. And they were really happy to give to us this year. So I'm very proud of the kids for doing that. And it's really was seamless. Like, our veterans taught our rookies how to do it, and it just happened. There wasn't a lot of coaxing or coercion on my end. I didn't have to wag any fingers at anybody and tell them to raise money. They just did it. And it was really nice to have the kids run that. The grants that we received, one was from NASA, and that was through FIRST, but NASA sponsored it, and that refunded $450 of our $3,000 registration. So typically a veteran team will pay a $5,000 initial registration. This year it was only $3,000, and then we got $450 of it back through that grant. We got a grant from the PNG Core Foundation to go towards our pit and signage. Now, we're obviously not going to need our pit this year since we're not going to any competitions, but the kids we've talked about it for a little while. They've asked them to think about it. We built a PVC pit last year, and it was great to finally have a pit, and they were excited about it, but they still felt like it wasn't quite up to what the other teams had. And I do think there's something to be said for feeling like you belong and having the presence that makes you feel like a member. So they'd like to get a pit for next year, and we were able to get $600 from PNG for that. The first Equity and Access grant that we got, again, was through FIRST. We were awarded $4,100, and we wrote a proposal. The ladies on the team wrote a proposal to host STEM Saturdays. The grant was geared to create outreach to diversify your club. And since our club is less than 30% female, they chose to focus our application there. So they've proposed in their grant, oh shoot, I guess I have it on a different slide. I have another slide that talks more about that, so I'll wait just a minute. But with this grant money, we've already purchased a carbon fiber 3D printer and filament that goes with it. And that carbon fiber has properties very similar to metals. So we can use that for the club as well as for these STEM Saturdays that I'll talk more about in just a minute. We have upcoming purchases that will come out of that balance. Robot parts, right now I have $4,700 in open purchase orders, and that is already taken out of our balance. So our $12,000 reflects that that money's already been spent, when actually it has not. So if we don't spend that much money on the robot, and we usually don't, whatever's left over will go back into our budget. Like I said, that they want to buy a new pit. They want to redo the robot cart. Ours fell apart on us at competition last year. So they've done some research and they've designed their own pit. So we'll buy parts and build that. They'd like to redo the drive station, get some new buttons that are a little bit bigger and easier to press. And then we'd like to have a team bandsaw, and we need new compressors. Our compressors were having issues overheating and managing our load for our pneumatics last year. So we'd like to get some updated compressors. A standard like pancake compressor, and also an onboard compressor for the robot. Does anybody have questions about financials so far? That's a big picture overview. Okay, moving on to our community outreach. First, I want to talk about our VEX tournament that's coming up first. That'll be in February 20th from 7:30 to approximately 5. It probably won't go until 5. A lot of times in the past when we've had, or when we've been to VEX tournaments, this will be the first one we're hosting. When we've been to VEX tournaments and there are 50 or 60 teams, they'll last until 5 o'clock. We're only hosting 25 teams this year because of COVID. We're keeping everybody very spread out. And we're hosting 25 teams from 9 schools. This will be over in the activity center. We're allowing 4 teams or 4 students per team and 1 coach per team. We're not allowing any spectators, and there won't be any concessions. All teams are responsible for bringing their own lunches. We will be live streaming the competition, and I'm still working on the exact details, but I think we're going to use the Harrison live stream that they use for the basketball games and the wrestling. I'm meeting with Mike Morris to make sure that they'll be able to zoom in and get accurate views of both of our competition fields. We'll run 2 competition fields and 1 skills field, and we'll also have a practice field. So we'll have 4 fields in the activity center. And then around the track on the top level, we'll have a table for each team. And we've been over there and we've created maps and layouts so that everybody can be spaced. I also talked with maintenance. So eating can happen in the stands. So people can definitely make sure they're 6 feet apart to eat their lunches. They said that would be fine. Our second community outreach event this year, like I started to talk about earlier, is going to be our Science Saturdays. So the goal that the ladies came up with is to make a lasting impression on the female students in our district in grades 3 through 5 by empowering them to believe in their ability to pursue a future in a STEM field. So they want to bring in 3rd through 5th grade girls so that they're excited, and this will be an annual event that they can look forward to. And then when they come to the middle school as 6th graders, they can join the robotics club, and then they can stay with us in grades 6 through 12. The plan they have for the STEM Saturdays is to run 3 consecutive Saturdays in March, the 6th, the 13th, and the 20th from 9 to 11. We'll bring in these young ladies and we'll teach them some CAD where they can design different bridges. After they create their designs on this first Saturday, we will 3D print them in different materials. We'll 3D print them throughout the week in PLA, reinforced PLA, and the carbon fiber. And then when they come back the following Saturday, we'll test them and we'll test them to failure. So they'll get to break all their bridges and calculate different, the different forces and the different loads that each bridge was able to withstand. And then the final Saturday, the final Saturday, we'll have a lunch, or I'm sorry, a brunch, because it's 9 to 11. We'll have a brunch and we'll discuss the results of the integrity tests and how the materials and the structural design played into the results. So they're really excited about getting that organized, and we will start recruiting for that very soon. Questions about the community outreach?
I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
What volunteer help do you need? Do you need any help from us for either of these 2 events?
That is my next slide.
Oh.
Thank you, Trisha.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fantastic. We do need help. These are the volunteers we have right now. So Annette Trosher has popped in a few times, and she has agreed to run the hospitality aspects of the VEX tournament. She's going to help me coordinate the volunteers and run a hospitality room. We're going to have bottled water and single serving snacks for all of our volunteers. And these are our FRC members that have volunteered to step up. And they're really excited to make this a good experience because it has to be so small, and because we can't have spectators, and because we can't have concessions. They understand that this very likely isn't going to be a huge fundraiser, but it's going to be a huge give back to the community. And it's going to be a great start to what could be a fundraiser in the future. So Eve's decided to check in the teams for us. Trent's going to run our information table, and their smiling faces will be the first two that everyone sees. Audrey and Zach are going to run the fields. So they're going to verify all the scores and make sure that the fields are reset properly in between each match. Rob Smith is one of our contacts from Bex. He's going to be our head referee. RJ, Frederick Topher, is going to be doing field reset along with Adam and Jack. So these guys are going to be running around on the field and resetting all the field elements in between matches. They're really excited. They're not allowed to wear shoes. Bill Niemeyer is Sarah James's dad. He's going to be one of our judges. And Andy Hoxima and Peter Leeper from Great Oaks, they're going to be our robot inspectors. So before any of the students can compete, their robots have to pass an inspection. And Andy and Peter have done this for years. So they'll be able to work with the kids if any of the robots are out of spec, tell them what they need to fix so that they can still compete. Josh and Noah are going to be our MCs. We're really excited. They're very funny young men. So I think they'll make the environment really upbeat and exciting for everybody. Matt Chambers is one of our IT guys from the Oaks. He's going to run all the behind the scenes networking and software. Nick is going to be his assistant, making sure everything goes off without a hitch. And Caitlin is going to be our event photographer. So these are all the volunteers we have signed up right now, but we do still have significant spots that we need filled. I've created a sign up genius, bit.ly/HR volunteer. So we will need some help setting up the pits and the competition floor on Friday from 2:30 to maybe 6-ish. It might not take that long. I'm going to start setting up after my last bell is over at 2, so I can start getting chairs and tables and things over there. Matt from IT is going to be in that activity center pretty much all day Friday, making sure he's good to go. But anybody that is available to come help us set up, I think I asked for 10 volunteers on the bit.ly, but I'll take anybody that is available and wants to stop by and make sure we got it all. Most of the kids said that they can be here on Friday. During the tournament on Saturday, I still need 2 scorekeepers. And what a scorekeeper does is they walk around with a tablet and they count the pieces that have been scored. So there'll be like a video you can watch to understand the scoring. And then Rob will be there to make sure you understand everything before the tournament starts in case you have any questions. We need 4 queue managers. So the queue managers have the schedule of the event and they make sure that the teams that are on deck going to compete in the next competition are at the queue table ready to go as soon as the field is reset. This is what helps the competition flow so there isn't a huge lag time between competition. The way we run is we'll have an A field and a B field, and as soon as A field is done, B field starts. There'll be like maybe 30 seconds while Rob walks from one field to the next in between competitions. And then while B field's competing, A field is reset, and the next round of players is already there ready to go. So we just need 4 adults that'll help the teams get to the queue table on time, because kids will want to tweak their robots, or they'll be at the practice field, or they'll need a snack and they might lose track of when it's their turn. There's also, for the queue managers, there is an app that we can download that'll help you and the kids know who's up and who's needs to be ready. We need 1 skills field referee. The skills field, it has its own software and the scores are recorded, but it's just 1 team at a time. It's not a head-to-head competition. It's just 1 team goes, they drive around their robots for a set amount of time, and you just have to run the software and then count the score at the end of their time limit. So that's very low stress. We also need 3 more judges to work with Bill, Sarah's dad. The judges are people that are familiar with the engineering design process and can walk around and look at kids' engineering notebooks and talk to them about how they followed the steps to research the game, design their robot, build their robot, program their robot, troubleshoot, And then there'll be some criteria that judges are asked to use to choose the team that wins the judges award. And then at the end of the day, after the award ceremony, we'll need help tearing down the pits in the competition floor. We need to get everything torn down, put away, and back over here in our engineering labs Saturday night, because there are other things in the activity center on Sunday and then Monday morning. So like I said, I do have a bit.ly for that. And we are going to get through this before we start taking volunteers for the Science Saturdays. I will have the ladies develop their flyers so that we can get our signups, and we'll have a good group of girls ready to go. And then we'll organize volunteers once we have a little bit more information about what that's going to be. Questions? Okay. All of our volunteers will get a cool shirt that was designed by Trent. And we'll, like I said, we'll have a VIP room with water bottles and single serve snacks for all of our volunteers. And if you can't volunteer but still want to help us out, we will accept donations of water or single serving snacks for the volunteers. Andy, we're providing pizza for volunteers, is that correct?
Yes, I can provide
Okay.
pizza, or if you want me to do something that's in a single serving package, we can make that work too.
I was talking with Annette, since she does events. She said if we do anything that needs to be served, it needs to be the same person serving it the entire time, and gloves and masks and all that. So I was just trying to make sure we complied with as many rules as possible. That's why I wasn't, in the past, we've asked people to bring in like a crock pot of soup or a tray of sandwiches or a platter of something. But we're just going to avoid that this year. I don't know if pizza or box lunches, what that would do to price, or I'm not sure exactly what the options are, but we can figure that out. Okay. That is all I have for today's episode of FRC Parent Meeting. Does anybody have questions for me or comments? How are the kids doing? Are they enjoying robots this year? Are they doing okay? We do have a smaller team, and I think they're doing great work. I'm very excited with how the progress they're making and the way they're working together and really trying to keep each other engaged. So are you are you hearing anything at home that you want to share? Okay.
I have a different question.
Sure.
I am signed up to do dinner on Tuesday, but we have a COVID positive case and I won't be able to. So I've signed up for a later date. Is there anyone who can do Tuesday's meal for me? You don't want what's in our home.
Yeah.
It's COVID. So I don't know. So I don't know how to unsign up, but if I figure it out, I'll unsign up.
Stephanie, do you know how to do that? Stephanie set up that sign up for us.
I'm sure there's an easy way to do it. I just
Yeah, I think you can. I think you can go on there and swap at least. If you sign back in, you should be able to go on and swap or
Okay.
edit it. Or
Sure.
if not, I can see what I can do.
Okay, I've signed up for another one. I just haven't swapped. I'll keep trying to do that. But if there is anyone who can do Tuesday, I would feel awful if the kiddos. We have a winner. Thank you guys. And my follow-up question
We'll do
is,
it. We'll do it.
when our kiddos are in quarantine, are there things they can be working on from home? Programming stuff or anything they can be doing to kind of keep their momentum?
So we've started a couple chats or meetings with teams. I made a new team that's just for robots because it was the way teams run. They all have to be in the same team together, and they're all in my classes, but they're all in different classes. So I can't do it that way. So I did make a new team, and they're all in. If there is anything specifically that they're feeling good and they're caught up, I don't want anybody overwhelmed. But yeah, definitely we'd like to keep them engaged. Now, I don't have a camera on my smart board, so it's hard for them to see the room. But if they want to, you know, send a chat message to one of their friends that they typically work with, they can log in with their laptops and chat with each other and hold it up and see the robot and ask questions. Because yeah, I know a couple of them said they were already chatting with Adam about different motor questions that they were trying to make sure they were building the right motors into CAD so that I buy the right couplers.
Thank you.
Of course, yeah, we do not want anyone to feel like they can't be here and can't be involved. And Cecilia's been doing a good job of checking in too. We miss her. Any questions for me about how the year is going to go or what we're trying to do? Okay. Well, I think everybody has my email. If you have any questions, everybody's on Band. Band is a great way to get a hold of me. Band and email, especially when I'm here. My cell phone doesn't do much of anything except hold papers down. So Band and email is a great way to get a hold of me during meetings. Does everybody have Sarah James's contact? Her email? Okay, I'll put her email in, and when we close out here, I will send the recording and I'll send my PowerPoint and I'll share Sarah's email. She's also on Band, so you should be able to message her through there. Okay, well, one more time, I just want to thank everybody for coming tonight and also for just supporting us and trying to keep this club alive through COVID. Yay! Have a great night, everybody. Thank you for all your support, and I hope everybody stays healthy, and I think we're going to have a great season. I'm really excited about it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Angela.
Thank you.